Good morning. Welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is April 5th, 2024. This is episode 128. This is a podcast by a dreamer for all you dreamers out there going for something big in life. I'm a comedian and an actor, an improviser, and sharing my journey as I navigate a pretty audacious life path that I have chosen. I mean, I use the word audacious. Maybe that's not good. It just, I don't know. I guess if it was obvious or easy, I don't think we would call it a dream. You know what I mean? Like, what makes a dream? It's like there's just this element of unlikeliness to it, I think, or uniquely challenging, or maybe something that isn't considered as mainstream as maybe some other life paths, maybe. So I am obviously back in Phoenix. I have been in Vegas all week, had some really cool experiences there. Rolled back into town yesterday. I had a couple of hours to relax and sort of regroup. And then I went and filmed another podcast. I am now involved in two regular podcasts. The other one is co-hosted by a very funny comedian and good buddy of mine, Josh Novi. And so I did that. And then I went straight there to JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert. And I had a show last night, and it was really rough for me. The other comics also, mentioned that the audience was a little rough. They were definitely not giving you anything for free. And those of you following the podcast know that I've had some pretty significant shifts, I guess, in what I want to do comedically, and I'm in this phase where I'm feeling like I want to start over, literally throw out everything I've ever done, and really try to rebuild an act from scratch, which is no small feat. And so I have started writing some new ideas, some new premises, a couple jokes, and I thought, hey, I'll try those out. I got a couple chuckles on some of the new stuff, and then, just the way the audience was responding, I totally just chickened out. I did maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes trying to navigate my way through some of the new material. And then I just went, nope, this ain't going to happen. So then I just abandoned ship and hopped on to my old material that I've been doing. I say old material. It's actually it's still the newest material that I have. It's pretty much just the stuff I wrote last year. And that's what I did. So, and even that material, oh man, I don't know, my friends. I just have this head trash going on about, yes, it's funny. Yes, it works. But am I dealing with it? Am I a killer with this material? And, I just don't think that I am. And so and I was really discouraged. I got off stage. I went back in the green room. None of the other comedians were around for a little while. And man, I felt really down, really discouraged. One of the other comics, a good buddy of mine named T. Dot, who's an incredibly funny comedian, came in and he kind of had to give me like a pep talk for a couple minutes, and he was very gracious and very kind, and just said that, like, how funny I am and blah 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 blah. It's like, man, I've been doing this for so long and I still need that. It's yeah, it can be discouraging. Jim, the owner, came back and after his set and said how much he was struggling and that he wanted to try a bunch of new material, but didn't really feel like this was the right audience to to try some new stuff. I mean, I was in the green room, I was listening to his set, and I heard lots of laughter. I mean, he's always really, really funny, so I didn't, I don't know, I think maybe as comedians, we're always our worst critics, and it's hard for maybe us to get out of our own heads. And even though we think it's going horrible, somebody maybe on the outside is like, oh, no, it wasn't that bad. And of course, I asked the other comedians, I'm like, was that as bad as it sounded? And they're like, no. But you also don't know if they're just being nice and they know that I'm discouraged. And so they're, just being nice so I don't jump off a cliff. So, and just in terms of where I'm at, I'm also in this phase where, I don't even really know what kind of comedian I want to rebuild myself as. When I started comedy, I was like an active member of the Mormon faith, the LDS faith. So I was very clean. I was a clean comic. That term gets thrown around a lot, but ultimately, I wasn't using any vulgarity. I wasn't going to any extreme topics. And I was a clean comic for, almost exclusively for the first 5 or 6 years. And a lot of the comedy that I still do is considered clean, and I still get booked for clean shows. There are bookers who trust me to show up and not offend their audience, and because they actually advertise the show as clean. So, it's not really a matter of preference in those situations. It's a matter of, if you want to get booked on this gig, you have to be clean. And if you are not clean, you will not only not get paid, but you will not get asked to return. Which I don't have any problem with that, because again, I've been predominantly a clean comic. It's only been in the last couple of years that I have even loosened up a little bit. And then, depending on the circumstance, if it's like an open mic and I'm riffing, I'll say whatever I want to say. So I'm also in this position where I'm looking to, in essence, rework my whole act of going, well, do I still want to be a clean comic, or do I want to change fundamentally what I talk about and, be a little more vulgar, be more subversive, be more transgressive, kind of be more like a Bill Burr or a Louis C.K., or a, old school George Carlin. I say old school, but, or even like a kind of a Dave Chappelle, where, I'm just really saying what it is. Maybe I really think about some stuff, even if it's maybe controversial or maybe if it's vulgar. Or do I want to rebuild and maybe double down on going more the kind of clean, wholesome Jim Gaffigan, Brian Regan, Jerry Seinfeld, and of course there's everything in between. And I don't know. I really have no idea what to do about all of that. I have been talking about this week how I've been working a lot with a buddy of mine who's mentoring me through this process, and he's really gotten clear, like, you really need to pick a lane. Are you going Bill Burr or are you going Brian Regan? And I don't know, but obviously making that decision is then going to influence everything else, in terms of my writing, what topics I choose to talk about, what language I use. And, I don't know. And unfortunately last night was so discouraging that I'm not really in a place of like excitement. Like, yeah, okay, let's go start over again. And I don't know. Geez. Can you guys tell I'm kind of all over the place today? This is what going for dreams looks like, everybody. And I hope that this is actually helpful to any of you going for dreams. If you think it's just going to be a little step, just stairs, step, and then all of a sudden all your dreams come true, man, it is up and down, all around, sideways, downways, upways, little encouragement here, big discouragements there. At least for me, overthinking, overanalyzing, discouragement, wanting to quit, not quitting. Because I'll tell you, last night I got off of that stage. I'm just like, I don't ever want to do comedy again. And I know, no, I'm going to do comedy again. I've got 4 more shows this weekend at that same club. I've got 5 more shows at that same club in 2 weeks. And I'm not going to quit. It's like, just get that out of your head. I'm not quitting. It's not happening. But, it can just feel that way. It can just feel like, man, do I want to, be done. So, I wish I had, I wish I had some more positive. I try to be a positive person. I try to be, up and at 'em, go get 'em. And for the most part I am, but on this journey that I'm on, man, to maintain positive, ambitious optimism during the day in and the day outs and the honing of the craft and the trying new material and failing. I've tried so much new material the last couple of months. I've really tried to write a bunch of new stuff. And, it's just none of it is quite there. And even last night, I got some chuckles on just some of the new ideas. It's like, I think what I was really trying to test is like, when I just present sort of the premise or the idea, do I get any sort of positive response, or do I get, and some of it I actually did. I haven't watched the tape yet. I haven't been able to bring myself to do that, but I did record it. And that is the brutally painful part of this process, is filming myself and then watching the tape and actually seeing me do this in real time, watching it again, and then trying to assume the role of the outside objective observer. And it is not easy to do that, but I've just found that it is, for me at least, a necessity. A necessary part of this process is to record myself and then watch and just sit back and go, okay, what really is happening here? What, was it actually not funny because this is just not a good way to go? Or can I see opportunities to go, oh, well, that because that punchline wasn't clear, or that's, because I didn't deliver it that well, or, I can tweak it this way, I can tweak it that way. So I will do that. So, I I have found myself with a fairly open day today, and what I have committed to do is, once I get sort of my work stuff all squared away, I want to take like the whole day, go find a corner somewhere and just write. And then for my shows tonight, I'm half tempted to set up my keyboard and do my sort of token interview an audience member and sing a song about them and just put material down. I'll see how I feel after I write, because it could also be if I write with all this writing that I'm going to do, that I may feel good enough about some of it to where I want to try it. And maybe I'll do a hybrid. Maybe I'll come out, try a few new jokes, see how it goes. And then from there, then if I have my keyboard on stage, then I can always go to interviewing somebody in the audience and then improvising a song. So that's the game plan for today, to try to push through this, the beginning stages of starting over. And of course, never easy. And also because I'm still undecided, and that's the difficult thing, is there's never really a clear right or wrong path. It's just, oh, you have a dream? Yeah, go for it. What do I do next? I don't know. Figure it out. Like, there's just so much. You have to blaze so much of your own trail. Now, you can always look at other people who have come before you, but even within comedy, to be like, oh, well, I want to follow Bill Burr's path. Like, okay, good, good luck. It's like, well, what did Bill Burr do? He started doing comedy 30 years ago, and, it's really difficult to find a specific trail path that's like a very clearly defined, oh, well, if I just do this, then this will happen. And then once I do that, then this will happen. And then do this, and then this will happen. And then I will have my dreams. It's so much more having to create your own path and adjust it as you go, and try to navigate and make decisions with no actual clear understanding of which path will be the most effective. Like even this decision I'm trying to make right now, like, well, do I keep being a more clean comic, or do I be more not clean, right? Like I have these two paths. I don't actually know what path is right. I don't even know what path I want. I like doing clean comedy. I also like being able to say whatever the heck I want to say. I actually really like being able to try to entertain audiences who have a certain sensitivity to vulgarity and all of that, and to be able to be really funny to those audiences. I also like being able to be a little more raw and honest and connect with, usually the people who want clean comedy are more of like, kind of a religious group, not exclusively, but, there's a much higher probability that if you're, that a clean comedy audiences are going to be more, religious, conservative type people who have a certain sensitivity to vulgarity and, brash or, promiscuity, like that sort of stuff. And there's a huge part of me that has a similar sensitivity, but then there's this other part of me that is a lot more I don't have that sensitivity at all. Like, I want to talk about, you know, more vulgar and more transgressive, taboo things. And again, my buddy who's mentoring me just says, yeah, but if you really want to grow an audience, you have to pick a lane and hold to that, because, if I start being vulgar, then the clean comedy audiences aren't going to be my fans. And if I start being, more of a clean audience, then the people who want more raw, edgy stuff aren't going to be my fans. And there really isn't I think we would all love to have the best of both worlds. So I have no idea. I have no idea. And this is a podcast by a dreamer for dreamers. And I think that anybody out there selling you a bill of goods that they have it all figured out is just trying to get your money. I am not trying to get your money. I'm just being real. I have no clue what I'm doing, or how to move forward, or how to navigate this, or who's right, or whose advice I should take, whose advice I ignored, when I should trust my inner voice, or when my inner voice is wrong and I should trust, the advice of somebody outside of me. I have no idea. And I am just fumbling through in the darkness, and with, just nothing more than this nebulous dream that is compelling me to move forward. And that's really all I got. So I will see how this weekend goes. Hopefully I will have some more encouraging shows. And we'll see how my writing goes. If there's something that I can, if there's an idea or a premise that surfaces as I start writing that I actually really feel really good about, and, that I want to maybe attempt to put on stage. So there we go, everybody. That's the update for April 5th, 2024, episode 128. I hope all of you are doing well. If you are in a state of discouragement or you've had some setbacks, I hear you, I feel you, I clear you. And, I just don't know any other way than just to take whatever the next step is in the darkness, and hopefully the light will show up around each footstep as you take it. So, all right, everybody, I love you all so much. Let's keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.